According to the FBI, the indictment for these arrests stem from a drug trafficking operation that ended here in Memphis.
The charges target what investigators call a deep network of corruption.
2 county sheriffs and 12 other law enforcement officers in Mississippi have been indicted in connection with a years-long conspiracy to traffic drugs.
The FBI has uncovered and dismantled one of the darkest scandals in modern American law enforcement, a massive drug escort conspiracy operating out of Mississippi, where sworn police officers and elected sheriffs served as paid enforcers for a Mexican drug cartel. 20 defendants have now been indicted, including 2 county sheriffs, 12 active duty police officers, and 6 civilian accomplices. All are charged with bribery, narcotics trafficking conspiracy, and providing armed protection for cartel drug shipments, all while wearing the badge of public trust. Federal officials condemned the operation as a betrayal of the badge and a collapse of public faith in law enforcement. They described in detail how Mississippi officers used their flashing patrol lights and official authority to escort what they believed were cocaine convoys through the Mississippi Delta and into Tennessee. According to the charging documents, this was not a case of isolated corruption. It was a fully organized system where cartel money bought official protection for years. The FBI's Public Corruption Task Force, operating under the Department of Justice, launched the investigation after receiving intelligence that several local officers were offering safe passage to traffickers in exchange for payment. They traded the trust that the public placed in them, said one Justice Department official, disgracing the badge and undermining the honest work of every good officer across this state. What agents uncovered was an entire alliance between police and cartel brokers, a criminal infrastructure built on authority, deception, and greed. The sting operation began in 2023, when undercover FBI agents posed as representatives of a Mexican cartel seeking to transport 25 kilograms of cocaine north through Mississippi. Within just a few weeks, officers from multiple counties volunteered to escort the fake shipments for cash. Some demanded up to $37,500 per trip, promising to clear the roads and ensure that other patrol units stayed away from the route. Video evidence later used in court showed uniformed deputies blocking intersections, running lights and sirens, and communicating over police radio to coordinate the so-called protection details. Agents said the speed and confidence with which the officers accepted bribes revealed a culture of corruption that had existed for years. They weren't tricked, one FBI official said. They were on the payroll, and they knew exactly who they were protecting. The scheme became so bold that on several occasions, full sheriff-led convoys escorted vehicles they believed were carrying cocaine and drug money through rural counties, smiling as they pocketed envelopes stuffed with cash. At the center of this scandal were Washington County Sheriff Milton Gaston and Humphreys County Sheriff Bruce Williams, both accused of authorizing and participating in the illegal escort runs. Prosecutors said Gaston disguised cartel payments as campaign donations, laundering the money through personal accounts and falsified financial reports. Sheriff Williams allegedly gave his deputies direct approval to assist undercover couriers, assuring them they were protected from any local interference. According to the Justice Department, both men effectively turned their departments into a cartel security service in uniform, giving drug traffickers the protection of government vehicles and badges. They traded honor for money, said U.S. Attorney Clay Joyner, and in doing so, they surrendered their badge to the cartel. Over several months, FBI undercover teams documented multiple runs in which sheriff patrols escorted vehicles loaded with fake cocaine and cash bundles. The footage shows officers clearing roadblocks, waving convoys through intersections, and congratulating one another afterward in parking lots where the bribes were exchanged. The sting came to a dramatic end when federal agents moved in simultaneously across 3 counties, arresting all 20 participants in a coordinated series of early morning raids. The undercover operation that exposed the so-called Mississippi Police Cartel Alliance was unprecedented for the FBI's Public Corruption Task Force. Codenamed Operation Delta Shield, the investigation unfolded quietly over several months, as agents staged multiple controlled shipments to uncover the full extent of law enforcement corruption across the Delta region. Undercover FBI and DEA operatives posed as cartel couriers, arranging fake cocaine convoys along Highway 82 and Interstate 55, key trafficking corridors. To their disbelief, officers not only accepted bribes but also offered tactical advice on how to avoid DEA checkpoints and federal aerial surveillance. Video recordings captured officers laughing while activating their lights and sirens, escorting unmarked vehicles filled with dummy cocaine through county lines as though performing legitimate police work. Some even radioed nearby agencies to clear lanes for the sheriff's convoy, effectively transforming state highways into protected cartel corridors. Federal prosecutors revealed these were not isolated events, but routine protection runs, arranged through middlemen who collected cartel cash and distributed it among the participating officers. In total, 20 defendants were indicted, 14 law enforcement officers and 6 civilian accomplices, all charged with bribery, narcotics trafficking, conspiracy, and weapons violations. 19 of them also faced charges of carrying firearms during drug crimes, since most escorts involved fully armed patrols. Several were found carrying department-issued rifles and sidearms while guarding what they believed were real cartel shipments. Prosecutors said that in at least 3 instances, the convoys crossed into Tennessee under direct sheriff supervision, a federal offense under interstate trafficking statutes. These men weren't enforcing the law, said an FBI spokesperson. They were selling it. They didn't just protect the load, they legitimized it. The operation was modeled on real Mexican cartel smuggling logistics, providing federal investigators with a blueprint of how deeply transnational organizations had infiltrated small-town policing. For years, cartels have relied on corrupt officers in rural America to greenlight shipments along quiet highways, confident that no one would question a police vehicle leading the way. According to the FBI's intelligence division, the Mississippi network mirrored cartel-run models already seen in Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana, places where traffickers prey on local departments weakened by low pay and lax oversight. Cartel recruiters targeted officers with financial struggles or blemished disciplinary records, offering thousands in untaxed cash to escort loads and look the other way. In Mississippi, cartel money flowed through intermediaries and was often disguised as campaign donations or security contracts for local events. Agents confirmed the funds originated with Mexican cartel financiers operating out of Matamoros and Reynosa, demonstrating that the conspiracy's reach extended well beyond U.S. borders. When the indictments were unsealed, FBI Deputy Director Andrew Bailey addressed reporters with a blunt message. This scandal is a cleansing moment for American law enforcement. Corruption has infected the Delta, Bailey said. It has eroded the badge, but today the infection is being burned out. He made clear the probe had uncovered systemic corruption, not isolated misconduct. When sheriffs wear the uniform of justice while guarding cocaine, that is not failure. That is betrayal. And betrayal will be met with accountability. Bailey also announced that the FBI's National Public Corruption Unit is expanding oversight across southern states to detect similar schemes. His final admonition was pointed: the era of cartel infiltration through local police is over. Anyone who sells their oath to a trafficker will face the same justice delivered in this investigation. At the U.S. Attorney's Office in Oxford, Mississippi, U.S. Attorney Clay Joyner echoed that sentiment, calling the scandal a monumental betrayal of public trust. Joyner confirmed some officers were paid more than $37,000 per escort, often meeting undercover agents in restaurant parking lots to collect envelopes of cartel cash. Surveillance footage showed deputies laughing, shaking hands, and posing beside their patrol cars after protecting what they believed were cartel convoys. These were not momentary lapses in judgment, Joyner said. These were deliberate criminal acts carried out by men who swore to uphold the law. He noted that several defendants had previously been commended for community service and valor, a sobering reminder that corruption can hide behind even the most decorated badges. Joyner vowed the Justice Department would strip away every layer of this rot, from the streets to the sheriff's office. The political fallout was immediate. Governor Tate Reeves issued a public statement hours after the arrests. No one is above the law, not even those sworn to enforce it. He called the scandal a national embarrassment and demanded an emergency review of county hiring and internal oversight procedures. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety and the Department of Corrections quickly announced suspensions, internal audits, and dismissals for implicated personnel. DPS Commissioner Shaw Tyndall was blunt. The cartel just lost its shield in Mississippi. Civil rights advocates and former officers described the case as a generational turning point, exposing deep fractures in rural policing where financial desperation meets cartel opportunism. For residents of the Delta counties, the revelations were deeply personal. Communities that once waved to passing patrol cars now watched them with suspicion. wondering how long their protectors had been paid to look the other way. Inside Washington, the case prompted renewed urgency at the Justice Department's Criminal Division, which ordered a federal audit of corruption risks in local law enforcement across states identified as cartel transit corridors. The investigation, codenamed Operation Delta Shield, has since become a model for identifying corruption-based infiltration in small agencies. According to the FBI's National Public Corruption Unit, the same methodology used in Mississippi is already being replicated in Texas, Alabama, and New Mexico, states where cartel-linked escorting and protection schemes are suspected.
The Mexican cartels lost their inside men today, a senior FBI official said.
They had sheriffs, they had deputies, they had protection, and now they have nothing. Attorney General Pamela Bondi praised the coordinated work of the FBI, DEA, and U.S. Attorney's Office, framing the operation as a warning to any officer tempted by cartel cash: your badge will not save you. Federal prosecutors confirmed that all 20 defendants face potential life sentences under federal narcotics and bribery statutes. Several departments are preparing civil asset forfeiture actions to seize vehicles, homes, and campaign accounts tied to the defendants. Meanwhile, public pressure is mounting for transparency and reform as citizens demand safeguards that prevent cartel influence from ever again penetrating local policing. The Justice Department announced that Operation Take Back America, the national initiative under which this case was prosecuted, will now broaden its scope to target cartel-linked corruption in public institutions, including sheriff's offices and border counties nationwide. In a final statement, U.S. Attorney Joyner captured the gravity of the case. This is not just about one department or one state, it's about accountability. If a cartel can buy a badge in America, he said, then no community is safe. And that ends now.